Good afternoon. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for having us today. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, today I am going to give an overview of the Maryland State Retirement and Pension System. Now, the laws and provisions are set forth in the State Personnel and Pensions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, which may be subject to change each year by the Maryland State Legislature. So, if you need to research the law, this document should be located in your Human Resource Office. Overview. I am going to begin with service credit. Service credit is based on the actual months and years that you physically work on payroll, to also include any purchase of service or granted military service. Now, it's the service credit that determines the amount of your monthly benefit. Service retirement. I am going to discuss eligibility requirements for normal and early service retirement. Disability retirement. There are two types of disabilities that are offered in which I'm going to go over. Death benefits. I am going to review death benefits and vested retirement benefit. So I am going to explain what vested means. Resources. I am going to review our newest website, which is my SRPS. Defined benefit plan. The Maryland State Retirement and Pension System is an employer sponsored defined benefit plan, which is a 401A. Now, that means your monthly benefit will be based on a defined formula using your salary history and your years of service. We have a lot of members that call us because they want to borrow from their pension, but our system doesn't work like a 401k, 403b, 457b, or IRA, so you aren't able to borrow from your pension. The monies that you contribute helps to fund your lifetime monthly benefit at retirement. So the current contribution rate for the pension system is 7% of your annual salary. The system's Board of Trustees and Investment Division manages an annual budget to ensure current and future payments to retirees and also to the retirees' beneficiaries as well. Now, there is a newsletter for active members. It is located on our website under News. Okay, and then you would click on Member Newsletter. Now, the newsletter highlights important factors of interest to keep members well informed of the Maryland State Retirement and Pension System. My SRPS for active members. Now, we urge you to visit our new online website. Now, you can register on this website by going to our main website page. So, I am going to go over the main website address, which is all lowercase letters. It's S as in Sam, R as in Robert, A as in Apple, dot Maryland spelled out, dot gov. Okay, when you log on at the top right hand corner, you will see my SRPS login. Now, our newest website will allow you to view the plan that you are currently enrolled in and view service credit information as of June 30th of 2025 under View Account on the main page. So my SRPS will initially provide the highest monthly benefit that you will receive based on your earliest effective date of retirement for normal or full service retirement, and also the vested retirement benefit. So let me explain a little bit further about the vested retirement benefit. This benefit refers to someone who has already met the eligibility requirements for vesting but is not eligible for normal service retirement due to their age. For instance, someone may have to terminate employment to take care of a loved one, or other circumstances may arise in which someone may have to relocate to another state to reside. Well, as a vested member, As long as you keep your contributions and interest in our system, you will still be eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit upon normal service retirement age. And under the vested retirement benefit, that will provide an estimate of what you will receive in the future. Also, with MySRPS, you can view your current beneficiaries on file. And with our newest feature, the active members, you can now update your beneficiary information and also make changes, especially if your beneficiary has a change in their last name or home address. So it's best to keep your beneficiary information updated with us at all times. Next, we have the asset verification letters in which you can view and print your current contributions and interest in our system. Okay, and then there's service credit. Now, service credit will indicate the actual months and years that you physically work on payroll. So when you log into MySRPS and click on View Account, you will see service credit as of June 30th of 2025 to include purchase or granted military service as well. So please note that you no longer need a registration code letter in order to access MySRPS. So if you have an effective date of retirement as early as January 1st of 2026, March 1st of 2026, or July 1st of 2026, now will be a good time to start the planning process. So please note that your effective date of retirement will always be the first of the month. So most importantly, on MySRPS, you can obtain an estimate at your earliest effective date of retirement or the effective date of retirement that you select and receive an estimate based on all the payment option selections that will be available to you at retirement, not just the basic monthly allowance, which is the highest monthly benefit that you can receive without any beneficiary coverage. But most importantly, is that you can project what your monthly benefit will be based on any future date of retirement, and you can compare those estimates as well. Now, if you are not registered, at the top of the home page on our website, you will see my SRPS login. So please click on Do Not Have an Account with Us so that you can register. Also, as a reminder, if we do not have your current home address as an active member on payroll, your home address can be updated on Workday, or you can contact your payroll office to have your home address forwarded to the state retirement agency. That address will be forwarded to us electronically. Okay, types of service. First, there's membership credit. Membership credit is the months and years that you physically work on payroll. Military credit. Military credit is granted to you, and that service is added to the credible and eligibility service. There are two types of purchases in which I'm going to go over in detail. So I am going to discuss the difference between a normal cost purchase versus a full cost purchase. Membership in the pension system. First, there's eligibility service. Now, eligibility service determines when you will become eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit. Now, in order to receive a lifetime monthly benefit in the pension system, you must be a vested member. So if you began permanent employment before July 1st of 2011 and you have at least 5 years of eligibility service, that makes you a vested member. Or if you have 5 years of service in the retirement system and you started before or on July 1st of 2011, that also makes you a vested member as well. So as a vested member, you're eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit upon normal service retirement age. Now, if you begin permanent employment on or after July 1st of 2011, vesting is now 10 years of eligibility service. So let me explain a little bit further about how eligibility service works. In the pension system, if you have 30 or more years of eligibility service, you may be eligible to receive a full retirement benefit regardless of your age. Or let's say you have at least 15 years of eligibility service. You may be eligible for early service retirement. Next, there's the 500-hour rule. In the pension system, when you work 500 hours in a fiscal year, you earn a year of eligibility service. Now, the fiscal year begins July 1st and ends June 30th. If you are a teacher, the fiscal year begins September 1st and ends June 30th. So it usually takes a full time employee 3 to 4 months into the fiscal year to earn another year of eligibility service. So please note that you earn 1 year of eligibility service in each fiscal year. Next, there's credible service. In the pension system, credible service determines the amount of your monthly benefit. Each month that you work and make the required contribution, you're earning credible service on your account. So, credible service is based on actual hours worked to also include annual sick, personal, or comp leave. Now, let's say you're working part time. Part time service affects the credible service. For instance, let's say you are a 12-month member and you're working 50% of the time on payroll. Instead of receiving credit for 12 months of service, you're only going to be receiving credit for 6 months because you're working 50% of the time on payroll. Now, if you are a teacher, the teacher system runs from September 1st to the end of June. And let's say you're working 50% of the time on payroll. Instead of receiving credit for 10 months of service, which equals 1 year in the teacher's pension system, you're only going to be receiving credit for 5 months because you're working 50% of the time on payroll. So when you're looking at my SRPS, you may see a slight difference between eligibility and credible service. So let me give you an example. Let's say I started permanent employment on January 1st of 2025. I would have 6 months of state credible service because I physically worked from January 1st to the end of June, June 30th, as a full time employee. And also, I would have earned 1 year of eligibility service as of June 30th of 2025 due to the 500-hour rule. Okay, so let me recap. Credible service is based on the actual months and years that you physically work on payroll to also include annual vacation, personal sick, or comp leave. So it's the credible service that determines the amount of your monthly benefit. Eligibility service will be based on your initial enrollment date and the 500-hour rule. So it's the eligibility service that determines when you will be eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit. Next, we have military credit. Now, if you have military service prior to your membership, you can claim that service. Now, before you claim that service, first you must have at least 10 years of state credible service on file. So once you have your 10 years, you can claim up to a maximum of 5 years of service. Now, let's say you had military service that interrupted your membership. Now, before you went out on that approved leave, your retirement coordinator or human resource officer in your HR department should have submitted our Form 46. That's the application to be placed on a qualifying approved leave of absence or military service entry. Now, once that form has been submitted, you can claim that military service at any time that interrupted your membership. So you can claim up to another 5 years of service. Now, whether you have military service that interrupted your membership or military service prior to your membership, you must submit our Form 43. That's the claim of retirement credit for military service, along with the proper military documentation. For active duty, we need a DD 214 statement. For National Guard service, we need a NGB 23 statement or a points history statement listing your inactive duty points versus your active duty points. Now, one good thing about military service that is granted, it's applied towards the credible service, which helps to increase your lifetime monthly benefit at retirement, and is also applied towards eligibility service to get you closer to normal or early service retirement. Now, all forms can be downloaded from our main website page under members and then forms. A very important reminder to remember about military service. Now, if you're already receiving a pension for that military service, you cannot claim that service twice. The first type of purchase I'm going to discuss is a normal cost purchase. Now, with a normal cost purchase, you are making up for the missed contributions and interest to the date of that purchase. Now, please remember that you must be an active member on payroll to purchase any service. Also, with a normal cost purchase, you must come back to work for the same system from which you left. Now, an example of a normal cost purchase would be a approved leave of absence. Now, please keep in mind that with a approved leave of absence, that means that you went off the payroll without any pay because you have exhausted all of your leave. Now, the first type of approved leave of absence is personal illness. Okay, so you can have a approved leave of absence up to a maximum of 2 years. Now, please note that FMLA is not considered a approved leave of absence in our system. However, if you went on FMLA due to your personal illness, when you come back on payroll, you can make up for any missed contributions and interest that are missing from your account history. Now, with any type of approved leave of absence, your employer, uh, your retirement coordinator, or human resource officer should have submitted our Form 46. And again, that's the qualified leave of absence request to let us know that you were out on that approved leave. So, along with the Form 46, you would also submit our Form 26 as well. That's the application to purchase previous service so that you can make up for the missed contributions and interest to receive credit for that time. Now, other examples of a approved leave of absence would be birth or legal adoption of a child, a approved study, or government sponsored and or subsidized employment. So please keep in mind that with a approved leave of absence, you cannot break up that time. For instance, let's say you were out on a approved leave for your personal illness for the maximum of 2 years. You cannot just purchase just 1 year of that time. You must purchase the whole entire 2 years. Another example of a normal cost purchase is delayed enrollment. Let's say you started permanent employment on March 1st of 2020, but you were not physically enrolled into our system until June 1st of 2020. Now you can make up for the missed contributions and interest for those couple of months at any time as an active member on payroll to receive credit. Now, if you have an example of a approved leave please check to make sure that we have the Form 46, Form 46 on file. If not, please contact your Human Resource Office to have that form submitted. And also, don't forget to submit our Form 26 as well. Now, if you have a case of delayed enrollment, please contact your retirement coordinator or human resource officer so that they can submit the correct documentation so that you can receive credit for those months that are missing from your account history. The next type of purchase I'm going to discuss is a full cost purchase. Now, with the full cost purchase, you're funding the whole entire benefit that additional purchase will provide to you at retirement, including what the employer would have put in as well. Now, a full cost purchase can be somewhat expensive, and that's because of the factors that are being considered. Okay, so please note that we're not looking at the salaries that were made 10, 20, or 30 years ago. We're looking at your current salaries. For instance, let's say you started permanent employment before July 1st of 2011. Now we're looking at an average of your three highest consecutive salaries. Now, if you begin permanent employment on or after July 1st of 2011, now we're looking at an average of your five highest consecutive salaries, your age, and the years of service to be purchased. Now, unlike a normal cost purchase, you can break up the time. You can purchase a minimum of 1 month and a maximum of up to 10 years. Now, some examples of a full cost purchase would be previous employment in the federal government in which you haven't received credit for in our system, public, private, or parochial school teaching in which you haven't received credit for, municipal employment, employment in another city or state government in which you haven't received credit for. And last, prior state service for which you are not receiving credit for, such as contractual state service. So, as a contractual state employee, you would not have been physically enrolled in our system because, in order to be enrolled in our system, you must be a permanent employee. Okay, so please note that we can only generate a bill when you are within 12 months of retirement or if you're already eligible for early or normal service retirement. And that's because of the factors that are involved. So if you have either one of these examples and you are within 12 months of retirement, you can submit our Form 26. Again, that's the request to purchase previous service. Now, the Form 26 doesn't obligate you to purchase that time, but once received in our office, it will allow us to generate a bill. So, along with the Form 26, you also want to submit our Form 9, the request for estimate of service retirement allowance, so that we can compute what your monthly benefit will be with the purchase versus what it would be without the purchase. Now, all both of these forms can be downloaded from our main website page under members and then forms. Okay, so if you're thinking about an effective date of retirement as early as January 1st of 2026 or July 1st of 2026, now will be a good time to start the planning process. Now, before we receive that Form 26, you must complete the top portion of that form. And then the previous employer must be able to verify the payroll information at the bottom of that form before we receive it. Now, if the previous employer states that the records have been lost or discarded, so they are not able to complete the bottom portion of that form, unfortunately, we will not be able to generate an accurate bill for you. Now, there are usually three main reasons why members purchase service. First, a lot of members are trying to reach 30 years of eligibility service to qualify to receive a full retirement benefit regardless of their age. Some members want to qualify to receive the full subsidy for the health insurance benefit. and some members just want to increase their lifetime monthly benefit at retirement. So by submitting the Form 26 and the Form 9, once received, we will be able to compute information for you so that you'll know whether that purchase will be good for you or not. Now, with any type of purchase, whether it be a normal cost purchase or a full cost purchase, you can use tax deferred funds. You can use funds from a 401k, 403b, 457b, or IRA. So by using these funds, you don't have to worry about any tax consequences. It will be a direct rollover for that purchase. So once the Form 26 has been received and processed, you should receive a bill and also our Form 192, the trustee transfer request to do a direct rollover for that purchase. Eligibility requirements for the alternate contributory pension system. This system offers members that began permanent employment before July 1st of 2011. Normal or full service retirement is age 62 with at least 5 years of eligibility service or 30 years of eligibility service regardless of your age. Some members may have started right out of high school in the mid 1980s and they're looking at MySRPS, which states 30 or more years of eligibility service. Now, a lot of members think you have to have both age 62 and 30 years of eligibility service, but it's whichever one comes first. We have a lot of members that have 30 or more years of eligibility service. Now, of course, there is no cap on working, so the longer you work, the more your monthly benefit is going to be because it's based on your years of service and your salary history. Now, in the alternate contributory pension system, there's also early service retirement. So, early service retirement is a reduced benefit. The reduction is 6% for each year prior to the age of 62, or 0.5% for each month prior to the age of 62. So, in this system, in order to qualify for early service retirement, you must be age 55 and have at least 15 years of eligibility service. Okay, so if you're thinking about early service retirement, you would have the greatest reduction of 42% if you retired at the age of 55. Now, please keep in mind that that reduction doesn't go away at the age of 62. It will remain with you for your lifetime. So, when thinking about early service retirement, the closer you are to the age of 62, the lesser the reduction and the more your monthly benefit is going to be. Next, we have eligibility requirements in our newest system. This is the reformed contributory pension system. This system offers members that began permanent employment on or after July 1st of 2011. Now, normal or full service retirement is age 65 with at least 10 years of eligibility service or the rule of 90. Age plus eligibility service must total 90. For instance, let's say you're 60 years of age and you have 30 years of eligibility service. Because that totals 90, in this system, you're eligible to receive a full retirement benefit. Now, there's also early service retirement in the reformed pension system as well. To be eligible, you must be age 60 and have at least 15 years of eligibility service. So the greatest reduction in this system is 30%. Now, the reduction is still 6% for each year prior to the age of 65. Next, we have disability retirement. Now, there are several types of disabilities. First, we have ordinary disability. Okay, ordinary disability applies to someone who is permanently incapable of performing their job duties due to an illness or injury. Now, in order to apply for ordinary disability, first you must have at least 5 years of eligibility service on file. Next, there's accidental disability, which is any incapacitating injury that occurred through an accident on the job. Okay, now please keep in mind that you must be a member, and for accidental disability, you must file within 5 years from the date of the accident. Okay, retirement filing requirements. Okay, you must be a member on working for a participating employer. Okay, and now you can apply at any time as an active member on payroll. Okay, or if you go off a payroll, it must be within certain time limits. Okay, and another important reminder to remember is that your contributions and interest must remain in our system. Okay, so if you have to go off a payroll for the teacher's retirement system, you must apply within 4 years from your last active day on payroll. For all other systems, you must apply within 4 years from your last active day on payroll. So please keep in mind that retirees are not eligible to file for disability benefit. Now, the disability application packet is on our website. Okay, or if you need access to those forms, you can contact a retirement benefit specialist who can mail that packet out to you. Death benefits for active members. Qualifications. Now, for the pension system, in order to qualify for an active death benefit, you must be eligible for early or full service retirement or have at least 25 years of service. For the retirement system, you must also be eligible for normal or early service retirement or age 55 with at least 15 years of service. Okay, death benefits, the spousal law. Now, your spouse will have the choice to receive a lump sum payment of your annual salary plus your contributions and interest, or a lifetime monthly benefit under payment option 2, which would be the same monthly benefit that you would be receiving at retirement. Okay, death benefits. Okay, if there is no surviving spouse. Now, children under the age of 26 may elect to receive a lump sum payment of the annual salary plus the contributions and interest, or a lifetime monthly benefit, which is composed of 50% of the basic retirement allowance paid until the age of 26. Now, if the child is disabled, then the benefit will be for their lifetime. Okay, next we have death benefits if there is no surviving spouse or children. Now, a lump sum payment will be made to the beneficiaries that we have on file, which will consist of the one time payment of the annual salary plus the members' contributions and interest. Okay, so you must have at least 1 year of eligibility service at the time of your passing. Next, we have special death benefit in the performance of duty. Okay, now if the member's death arises out of and in the course of the performance of duty with no willful negligence, there will be a lump sum payment consisting of the member's contributions and interest that will be paid to the beneficiaries that we have on file, plus a annual lifetime benefit of 2/3 of the average final compensation that will be paid on a monthly basis to the spouse or children under the age of 26. Now, if it's a disabled child, it would be for that child's lifetime or dependent parents for their lifetime. Vested retirement benefit. Now, for the alternate contributory pension system, for those members that began permanent employment before July 1st of 2011, if you have 5 years of eligibility service, you are a vested member. So if you have to go off the payroll due to a career change or to take care of a loved one, you will still be eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit at the age of 62. Or if you have at least 15 years of eligibility service and you're age 55, you will be eligible to receive early service retirement benefit. So those benefits will be available to you as long as your contributions and interests aren't withdrawn. Now, vested retirement benefit for the reformed contributory pension system. Okay, for those members that began permanent employment on or after July 1st of 2011. Vesting is now 10 years of eligibility service. So as a vested member, you're eligible to receive a lifetime monthly benefit at the age of 65, or if you have at least 15 years of eligibility service at the age of 60. Sources of information. There's a host of information through our main website, which is sra.maryland spelled out.gov. Okay, on our website, there is the My SRPS login so that you can receive an estimate of what your monthly benefit is going to be. Also, all of our forms can be downloaded from our main website page as well. Now, we do have retirement benefit specialists available Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the telephone numbers listed on this screen. Okay, and I do want you to make a note. We do accept virtual appointments and in-house appointments. Those appointments can be scheduled through our main website page. Okay, and you can also check on the status of any form that you submit. You can send us an email at the email address on the slide. Okay, and for active members, you also have the Mentor newsletter. Okay, so this concludes the webinar. I do have a couple of minutes for any last minute questions.